Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, coast to coast.
Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. Drew just in from San Francisco.
It was great. Yeah.
You're gay.
A little screwed up. I am. A little screwed up by the...
well, San Francisco is.
Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
No.
I'm emotionally a wreck because of this lost hour.
Yeah.
And by the way... And maybe I would complain. No, I know I would complain if they did this on a Wednesday. But there's something about cutting into the Sunday that smarts. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
How about, see, if we did this daylight savings thing on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, then I would look at it as, well, you know what? We just shorten the work week a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get sort of mathematical about it.
It really should be a Friday. Shouldn't it? Or Monday?
Instead of 120 hours.
No, Friday, so we can recover on Saturday and Sunday.
No, I'd be pissed off if you cut into Friday.
Thursday.
Drew, what's wrong with my Wednesday idea? Are you that combative?
Because I'm so tired.
Down with
I'm
my Wednesday
screwed up
idea?
for several days afterwards. You want the weekend to recover. You know what I'm saying?
No. Here's what I'm saying.
I'm against it.
Those 5 days, Monday through Friday, there's like 120 hours or however many is in that work week.
Okay.
We'll just make it 119 hours.
All right, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take an hour away from the work week instead of taking an hour away from the goddamn weekend.
Yeah, you got it.
And on Sunday. Because there's nothing, I always have this issue, which is I like to do things, I like to get stuff done, but I also like to sleep.
To putter.
And I like to putter, and that hour's difference. And I, you've never seen an hour count for so much. I'm depressed. I'm walking around. I keep announcing to people what time it is. You know what time it really is? It's really as if it was like 3 days. It's 1 hour. And I'm hemming and hawing about it.
It's like you're in Australia.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's that, that when you make this announcement, look how light it is. Look, it's 7:15. Look at this. I can see my hand in front of my face. This is incredible. It's like being indoors with the lights on.
It's 7 o'clock at night.
It's 7 o'clock at night. So that's difficult. The good news is all the clocks that I was too lazy to set are now on time. My car clock is on time again.
You mean the ones you've left since last daylight savings time? That you left on daylight savings time during standard time.
You're making it seem like that was a year ago. But
it was only 6 months. Nah, 6 months ago, yes.
6 months ago?
Yeah, be fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, the car clock I just couldn't figure out. So I let that one go. But it's all back now.
It's pretty hard, that button there that says set with the clock on it.
I don't know. This one's a little taller order, and it would mean breaking open a manual and reading something, and you know how I am with that.
I actually thought of you this morning. I did one of those I was at a hotel, did a wake-up call, and the goddamn wake-up call comes through at 7:30. I'm pissed off.
Well, why?
It was supposed to be at 8:30.
Oh.
And I had no idea.
With the hour thing?
You want to talk about emotionally disturbed. I didn't know this was coming.
Oh, Drew.
No time to prepare.
Probably the best, though.
Then had a plane to catch.
Oh, Drew.
After I laid around for the extra hour I thought I had.
Oh, Drew. What is up with you, buddy?
Crazy?
You're way out of it this year. And you're in San Francisco. David Allen Greer called me and wanted to tell me to tell you that he was going to be down at the Irvine Improv, and you wanted to go with your kids.
Last night?
He called me Friday, actually.
Saturday. Oh, I would have gone if I weren't in San Francisco.
Nah, I didn't know you were in San Francisco. I figured you would have gone anyways. Road to hell and burn! But if when I talk to David, I'm going to tell him I didn't tell you because you were in San Francisco, not because I was too lazy to pick up the phone and tell you.
You also don't want to break a record of never having called me in daylight hours.
It's really tough.
Unless it's for medication.
It's really tough to discuss something with someone you know you're going to see on Sunday night.
Right.
See, that's the way I looked at it. All right. You ready to roll here, Drew?
By the way, we had a great time in San Francisco, though. That Pac Bell Stadium was unbelievable.
Who'd you go with? Your kids?
My kids. You see that defensive play by Barry Bonds on Saturday?
No, Drew. No. What has happened to you? What has happened to you?
I know.
First off, the thing about baseball is, 163 games? How many games do they play? 168?
Yeah.
162, I hear. Okay. People are getting into arguments that when a team is like 3-2, that this team's going for the pennant. If a team is 1-4, it's like it's time to start making trades. Believe me, every baseball team is going to be about 500 at the end of the year. If you're rooting for a team, it's going to finish about 500. And even if it finishes a little below or a little above, it doesn't matter. Your team's not going to win the World Series. The Yankees will probably win this year, and that'll be that. I don't know why people get so caught up in this. I mean, follow baseball around. Follow baseball when it gets to about game 145.
There was an interesting thing, though. I never really followed that game until my kids got into it. And this weekend, bubble gum that Luis Gonzalez spit out. You hear about this?
No.
Allegedly made $145 on eBay.
Really? What do they do, a DNA test on that?
I guess. Remember we met him that time and you were like, I think this guy's that slugger from the Diamondbacks. I hear he's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah. I remember his request to take a photograph with me, Drew. I'm not sure
I believe
where
it was
you
both
were.
of us. I believe, in fact, I still have the picture.
I can't remember if you were there or not. Anyway, let's talk to Deidre, who's 17. And listen, Drew, with those boys of yours, stop spoiling them. Their life is just going to be one just free fall after you're done with them. Traveling all around. It's like a Visa commercial. Going to each ballpark, getting Luis Gonzalez's gum. Deidre?
Hello?
You're 17?
Yes.
What's up?
Well, I've been depressed since the 8th grade. And
Have you been treated for that?
yes, I've
Okay.
been treated for it. I've been in and out of therapy since then, and I've been to 3 mental hospitals for alcoholism, bulimia, and self-mutilation.
Okay. So the trifecta there.
Yeah. And then, I've been sexually active since for about a year now, and I cannot get an orgasm from any person I've ever slept with.
Are you on medication?
Yes, I've been on many different kinds of medications.
Well, the meds can impair that. Can make that difficult.
I mean, I can get off by myself. And I've been like, my current boyfriend, he has brought me to the point where I'm about to, but I just can't seem to get over the edge.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of just stuck there, and then it just
I brought many a woman to that point where she's about to, myself.
You sure? Sure you got that far?
Seems like I should at least have done that a couple of times. Yeah. Hey, Deidre, how's everything else going with all the insane problems you have in your life?
They're okay right now because my new medication I'm on seems to be working.
What are you taking?
I'm taking Effexor.
Okay.
I've been on Risperdal, Zoloft, and Wellbutrin.
Okay. That's not a lot of medication, believe it or not.
No.
Particularly for the kinds of problems you have. I mean, these are 3 life-threatening problems, right?
Yeah.
Depression, eating disorder, and then cutting on yourself.
Yeah.
Mutilation. So this is very serious stuff. The fact that you have trouble climaxing is sort of I understand, I don't want to take that away from you, but that's not a huge issue. And it sounds like if you're careful with your relationships and you try to develop some stable relationships, which is really going to be the tough thing for you, right?
Yeah, because, my parents have been in and out of divorcing each other since I was, 5.
I understand you've been living in a lot of chaos, but the chaos that's inside you is even worse, I suspect, right now than what you've been living around lately. And the kind of person you're going to choose to be with is going to be someone that's going to sort of confirm what you expect of yourself and of relationships.
How's your boyfriend? Is he a good guy?
He's wonderful.
How old is he?
He's 18.
All right. He's a decent guy?
Yeah.
He's not all tatted up and pierced up and mad at the world?
No, not at all.
No? All right. You ever get molested?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No, you got your good medication. You're 17. You're right on the edge of an orgasm. You know, give it a couple more months. You'll be fine.
All right.
Don't fixate on it. You fixate on it, you won't be able to do it.
Right.
It's kind of like, in those cartoons, Drew, when the Roadrunner shoots across something and the coyote goes chasing after him.
And he's fine up there running and running until he looks
He runs
down.
off the end of the cliff and he's still going pretty good until he notices that he's no longer on soil.
And then it's with the toes.
Yeah. He feels around with his toes. He realizes there's nothing but air under him, and that's when he goes down. This is how
everything except his head, which stays up there for a few extra seconds, and then that goes too.
Yeah, but that's how it would happen.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's how it would happen. The point is that this is how it becomes with the orgasm with the women sometimes. Right. They start looking around too much. They get up in their head a little too much, and it's really not going to happen. They just gotta experience it. Heather?
Yeah.
You're 26?
Yep.
What's up?
I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I called you guys 2 years ago when I had my first kid, and I think all I had to do was talk to Adam, and I was pregnant 2 days later.
Yeah.
Well, let's not let that happen again, okay?
No, I'm trying to avoid it. I'm actually, I just went off finished my pills and should have started my period like Wednesday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't start. And I should be starting my other packet tonight, but I haven't had my period.
Well,
Took a pregnancy test, and it was negative.
Start the packet.
Okay.
And get another pregnancy test in a couple of weeks. You can get pregnant on the pill. There is such a thing.
Yeah.
You haven't been taking any antibiotics or anything else that could screw up?
Nothing.
You taking it at the same time every day?
Yep.
All right, so you'll probably be okay. And have you had irregular periods or unusual bleeding with this pill before?
Not since I was like 16. That's why I went on them.
Is this a new pill for you? A new formulation or anything?
Tricycline all along.
All right, well, it happens sometimes. But pregnancy is the first thing to rule out.
Can stress throw it off even
Yes.
if you're on the pill?
Yes.
Okay.
But so can pregnancy, so make sure you're careful about that.
Saw this whole thing on 60 Minutes tonight about women who think they're going to get pregnant later on in life, and as it turns out, it's not been pushed back that far at all. Using their own egg, in other words. I was under the impression, I think most of society was under the impression that women, that window that women could get pregnant in has been getting wider and wider. That
No, it's getting safer and safer, and more able to have children that are healthy.
Well, however you want to describe it, Drew. Okay, that's all right. Would you shut up?
Well, it's not as though you can get pregnant later in life than you ever could before.
but
it's that you can do it at 40 safer than you could have 10 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to miscarry or die, then it's considered not a good idea to get pregnant at 40 if that was 100 years ago.
Right.
So the point is the window that people can get pregnant. I don't mean the physically capable of getting pregnant in, but I just mean women, society is comfortable with people getting pregnant in has been getting wider. That has been the most young women growing up now think, well, with fertility drugs and so on and so forth and modern science, I can get pregnant in my early 40s. I mean, no problem.
No, that's upper middle white thinking.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
You making fun of the Mexicans?
No, I'm just saying that there are other ethnic and religious and cultural orientations in this country that may push the envelope a different direction.
No, I know. I'm talking about the white women that want to work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They're the only ethnicity, female ethnicity, stupid enough to want to really fight to work. You see, you don't see black women, Mexican women doing that. The Chinese and the white women, they fist fight over who gets to work.
All right.
Yeah, have at it. Here's what we want to do. We want to work, and we want to go into battle. All right? And we're not gonna disperse until we've been heard. Yeah, great. Doesn't that sound like a great plan for a gal? Don't you want to do that? Work 60 hours a week, doing some crappy manual labor, and then
if they want to,
go step on a landmine in on some foreign soil, and just die in a unmarked grave.
Good times.
Yeah, we should fight for that. Here's the point: you don't see the black chicks and the Mexican chicks arguing about that, do you?
Yes,
you do.
I think it's more.
Name me one Mexican chick who's argued for the right.
I really think it's more of a economic thing.
Yeah, they don't want
upper middle, whatever color you are.
I know. What happens is when you get a lot of money, you start getting bored, and then you start making arguments about nothing. You start yelling at people about why you want to go into battle.
Okay.
You understand? This is what happens, Drew. So you're right about that.
Okay.
That's how it works.
All right.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. What was I saying? I'm saying, you were talking about, you had to turn this into an old ethnic thing. What I'm saying is according to 60 Minutes, the show I saw tonight, this has not moved up that much. Mm-hmm. And that if you're a woman and you want to conceive and you want it to be one of your eggs, it should be somewhere, at the end of sort of the middle 30s. And middle.
Yeah, if you really want to be reliable, sure.
Right, right. And this sort of
after that, it gets
notion that I'll be able to do it until I'm 45. If I'm in good shape, is not the truth. Apparently,
it's not that reliable.
It hasn't gone up as much as people thought.
Yes, that could be. Yeah,
and I thought that too. Didn't you think that?
I know that it depends. It depends on the person, situation, and whatnot. But after 35, the problems start to accumulate much more rapidly.
All right, so I'm saying, all you 15-year-olds out there, let's not put this off. It's time to get pregnant. Heather,
Yes.
you're 16.
Yes.
What's up?
Well, I think, I'm not sure. I have a problem with, when I was 7, my parents divorced, and I didn't see much of my dad, and, now whenever I get a boyfriend or something, I, latch on, And I see my dad a lot now, but he's a truck driver, and so, he goes out of town, and I don't talk to him for weeks at a time, but my last boyfriend really hurt my feelings. Not hurt my feelings, but broke my heart, pretty much. And, I was wondering if that could all tie in.
Yes, it can all tie in.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
What should I do?
Well,
so are you out of a relationship right now?
Mm-hmm.
And is
there anything else going on? You depressed?
It runs in my family, and I think I am off and on.
Are you doing okay at school?
Kind of.
Has that recently gotten to be a problem?
Well, yeah.
Is that in response to this breakup, or is it just...
Yeah, he was the first guy I ever had sex with.
Yeah.
So, it was just bam, we had sex, and then bam, he broke up with me.
All right.
That's, How long ago did this happen?
We broke up in late November.
So that's pretty long. You've been worrying about this for a good 5 months.
Yeah, for 16-year-old years.
5 months.
That's a while.
Yeah. So really, in an ideal situation, you'd want to get some help with this.
Yeah.
6 months is really the point at which people say, yeah, you're not over it yet. That's depression. That's a problem. There's something going on here. It has more meaning. I mean, think of that. You wasted 2 years in misery?
Well, I've wasted my whole life. What are you
I
talking
understand
about?
that. But I mean, those 2
How
years that were
dare
extra
you
bad.
Distill it down to 2 years.
I understand. But it's been wasted for different reasons. I mean, those 2 bad years when you were... Yeah.
Yeah, but
you were 22 or something, right?
Yeah, I was 22 and 23 and...
Yeah.
But listen, I had reason to be depressed.
Well, so listen to what's her name?
No, these punks, they don't know pain. They don't know sorrow.
Yeah, I know no one understands it the way you do, but they have reason.
Hold on.
Heather?
Uh-huh.
You think you know pathos, sister, but you don't.
And Adam has been one with you.
Yeah.
And look, she had tons of loss, tons of instability in your relationships. And in spite of all that, you sound pretty good and resilient. And naturally enough, a loss is something that's going to be extra difficult for you because your sense of yourself, your wholeness, and your ability to sort of be resilient in a relationship is impaired from your history.
Yeah, also, I think just like any kind of physical injury, better off at 16 than you are at 30.
But why not deal with this a little bit right now? Have her get into something.
Right. So you can do that.
I heard an interesting talk the other guy where a guy said, look, before there is a self, there's a relationship in life.
Yeah.
There's sort of your relationship with your mother, and then there's mother, and then there's self.
Mm-hmm.
Self comes later. And so, what, you thinking of something funny about that?
No. I just keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
You got a funny look on your face.
Yeah.
And naturally enough, when relationships become problematic or traumatic, it brings a lot of stuff back. And particularly if there are sort of insufficiencies of self, you're exposed to all that.
Yeah.
So it's time to kind of deal with that now. And time for you, Adam, to actually talk about something in your therapy. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't even been in 3 weeks.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working.
That's is that... When you do a lot of the Man Show stuff, do you just stop therapy?
No, I don't.
I mean, do you really barely go? Yes, that's the problem.
How dare you?
Oh, my God, it's obvious.
Hold on. My therapist went out of town or something a couple of weeks ago, so I didn't see him then. And then last week, I had to do some voiceover for that DVD or something on a Tuesday, whenever I usually go to the shrink.
It becomes noticeable.
Yeah, stuff comes up. No, I'll tell you what becomes noticeable. How dare you? What becomes noticeable is I get tired and kind of strung out, and I, get a little frazzled, get a little overworked, and I get a little attitude.
That's
yeah, that's what you notice.
But I'm
yeah, but you catch me on a bad night. It's Sunday night. We just set the clocks forward.
I know.
You know what I mean? This is
gonna be okay.
This is a loss for me.
I know. It's not
still mourning. Actually, I'm in denial.
You've barely gotten over
I'm leaving my clocks the way they were.
End of the football season.
You keep piling on. All right. You know the part I like? I like when you talk to people and ask them if their grades have been suffering because of the parents' divorce or the breakup. I think of my friends, and I think of me, and I think about, you could have cut my head off, my grades wouldn't have suffered at all. Maybe some improvement. Just, from a sympathy factor.
No, that because they wouldn't have had your smart mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he's doing F&D work, but considering his head is missing, I'm gonna bump him up to a C-.
He's quieted down a bit. He hasn't caused such a commotion in class.
He minds his own business. He stumbles down the hall. Some of the nicer kids lead him into the classroom. He gets, of course, you can't see, and then he just sits and hemorrhages in the back of the class, but he doesn't talk much.
It's a man show bit here.
He just bleeds on the Scantron sheets. I love that talk about the grades falling because whenever I think about my scholastic achievements, there's nowhere to go. You wouldn't have known it.
Maybe if you think question you would have been, have your grades gone up any? Has there been a change in your grades? Anything happen?
That would have been cause for alarm. All right, let's take ourselves a little break. When we come back, I want to talk to Kara, who's she argues with her boyfriend and she hits him. I think. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
After this. Hey, everybody. Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Drew was just telling me how nice San Francisco was, and they went up to Candlestick Park. Pac Bell. And got on the BART and went across the bay, and that's a real city.
Yeah.
L.A. is such a flaming turd of a city.
And what I was telling him was there's none of this, we've got to get out of here, the traffic, I got to get my car out of here, the traffic. Nope. People wait till the last pitch is thrown, they walk out in 5 minutes, they get on a train, they're out of there.
Well, it's interesting, yeah, because in L.A., whether you're at a sporting event or you're at a concert or any kind of venue where there's a bunch of people, hold on a second. I ate some Chinese tonight. It's really coming back on me. But
unacceptable.
The point is you got to think about getting your car out of a crowded lot.
Yeah.
And so you may miss the encore of the concert, or you may miss the 8th and 9th inning of the ball game because you don't want to get hemmed in, because you'll be in that parking lot for 2 hours. And you think, and it's ironic, but I've left many a ball game listening to it on the radio, which is even worse than being at home and watching it on TV. As you're pulling out, you're listening to Vince Scully on the AM call the rest of the Dodger game because you don't want to get stuck in traffic. And I had to go down to downtown L.A. Friday night to do some pickup thing on this Son of the Beach thing I did. And I went to real downtown, deep downtown. And I got to tell you, it is a piece of ass. This L.A. is the worst downtown. I would put
Detroit.
L.A. against any metropolitan city, and I'm including parts of the former Soviet Union and Beirut. I'd put it, get down there deep with those crazy stores that sell the knockoff toy brands. Mm-hmm. And just everything is just a mess out there. People sleeping in refrigerator boxes, and
it's a little nicer than Tijuana, to be fair.
Tijuana,
a little bit nicer.
Yeah, but the thing about Tijuana is Tijuana has some flavor,
some culture
to it,
some charm.
Yeah, I mean Tijuana is a dump, no doubt about it, but it's a sort of dump that's been decorated by a drunken savant who has like a third-grade education, but who's colorblind. You're right. Tijuana's a piece of crap. But there's something going on. I mean, you're hearing some music, you're seeing something, maybe you're getting stabbed, but in L.A. you're getting stabbed with no culture. Right. There's nothing going on over there. It's just sort of generic crap, or at least Tijuana is Mexican crap. You got a theme. I guess it's the difference between going to a restaurant eating bad Mexican food or going to a restaurant and just eating just crappy smorgasbord type,
crappy French fries,
just cafeteria food. Right. A lot of ketchup and vegetables that have been soaking too long in the water. Like difference between hospital food and Del Taco.
Right.
I go with the Del Taco. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. L.A. hospital food with a Mexican flavor
at times.
Yeah, it's like we sprinkle some of those cayenne peppers on the corn, make it a little zestier. Kara? Hi! Kara,
Hello.
you're 16?
Mm-hmm.
You beat on your boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah. How long have you been going out with the guy?
Almost 9 months.
How old is he?
18.
Have you ever done this before in a relationship?
No, I haven't.
All right. And this, I imagine this is what went on in your home?
No, not really.
Not really?
No.
What do you mean?
Only when I was young for, like every kid, like discipline.
No, that doesn't happen to every kid. And that would have been in your home then, right? That's in your home.
Oh, like when I hit him?
No, the fact that you were beaten when you were growing up.
She may have gotten hit so much she has brain damage.
I think so. She's behaving like it. That's not happening in every home. That's called child abuse.
Oh, not really. Just like a smack on the butt or something.
All right.
I would bet there's more that went on.
So there's a couple of jabs, no crosses. Kara?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a bad temper with everything or just your boyfriend?
Kind of with everything.
Are you doing drugs?
No.
Are you depressed?
No, I don't think so.
How often do you hit your boyfriend?
I don't know. Almost every time we argue, like say once or twice a week.
There's a whole field of study that shows that kids who are abused or neglected, particularly in the first couple of years of life, have real extraordinary difficulty containing aggression. Mm-hmm. So we would predict that you either were around that kind of abuse, were abused, or were neglected growing up.
Well, a little bit when I was young.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
What's your dad do for a living? Cop?
Oh no, he's a plumber.
Aha! Yeah, those are some rough and tumble dudes. I got that truck with that chain vise hanging off the back bumper. It's that vise, but it's got that length of chain on it for holding the pipe down.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you always look at that thing going, what is that exactly?
Yeah, I never knew what that was.
Yeah, it's how you... Okay, anyway. Kara?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what about working out these problems instead of working out on your boyfriend's midsection?
Okay, like what do you mean, like talking through it?
Well, yeah, maybe a little counseling, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Yeah, that sounds okay.
And by the way, women that engage in these kinds of activities often find themselves also being abused.
Does he abuse you back?
He's never really hit me back, like maybe twice, but he'll like choke me to keep me away from him.
And see, that part of this deal is that you don't even perceive aggression.
What's up with him too? He sounds like a mess.
No, not really.
Really?
He chokes you to keep him away from you.
He's not a piece of work, this guy?
You have to be a piece of work to not call the police when that happens and to keep tolerating the relationship.
You say he's 18?
Yes.
What's he do?
He works over at Universal Studios.
Oh, all right. Oh,
you're one of the tour guides.
He's calling from Florida.
Yeah.
One of the tour guides.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Kara?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't going to serve you very well in your life, this aggression thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not going to go away unless you do something about it.
So you're in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you look into some why don't you talk to your counselor?
Okay.
See if we can get into a little counseling about it. Because it's not going to go good. Someone's going to kill you.
There are some anger management strategies, but more. I suspect you're going to need more than that because this really suggests what they call insecure attachments, unstable attachments, and people like this can't contain aggression. They can't
from their parents beating them
or neglect or whatever. They just weren't. It wasn't that their neurobiological development is impaired.
Did your dad ever raise a hand to you?
No.
Really? Just. Didn't want to break the button on his little Van Heusen shirt.
Van Heusen?
That's a little much, huh? Who, Le Tigre? What's the generic brand J.C. Penney's has? True, seriously, your dad never beat you around, huh?
No.
Not his thing, huh? Why not?
Why?
He didn't believe in it?
Yeah.
Not into that? Really?
Were you beaten up?
No. Well, first off, my dad's such a puss. He knew I could kick his ass by age 6. Now, at age 6, I think I would have given my dad a good run.
Imagine your dad being like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons.
My dad is like a puss and a half. I could have easily kicked his ass by 8 or 9. Really could have. So he didn't mess with me. Yeah, I played a little Pop Warner football. He played the trumpet. Do you see what I'm saying, Drew?
Yeah.
Have you seen my dad?
No.
You've seen my dad.
Never met him.
I'm telling you, like a sparrow could kick his ass. A sparrow that ate a whole pot brownie could kick the ass out of my dad. He is such a puss. This guy's never done any. He couldn't. He barely can lift his arm.
Wow.
He can't like do. When he drives his car, can't do arm signals.
I'm a big boy.
That's Mr. Burns.
Yeah. I was talking to my dad the other day. I said, Dad, you ever put on you never owned a pair of cleats in your life, have you? You don't know what it's like to put on, like, cleats and run on grass, do you? You know that feeling, Drew? It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
No. So you never had, like, a baseball mitt or a ball or anything, huh? No. I mean, imagine going through life. Drew, you love sports. Now you're getting into sports because of your kids.
Yeah.
Not a week goes by that I don't get into some pickup basketball game or hit the heavy bag or something. My dad, his entire life, I don't think he's ever lifted his knees higher than about midway up his thigh. He's never run. He broke into a jog. Once, I think he ran one time in Philadelphia when he was 19. A case of Tasty Cakes fell off a flatbed truck, and he started chasing after them. But other than that, I've never seen the guy move. I've never seen him sweat. I've never seen him. He exercises by walking, but he just sort of barely lifts his feet off the ground.
Shuffles.
Yeah, shuffles like an old guy. People walk with a walker.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just get rid of the walker. Now you have my dad exercising. Moves about 3 feet, he stops. Moves about 3 feet, he stops. It's you never seen anything like it.
Good times.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's talk to...
Is that Mr. Burns?
Yeah, this Burns. Let's talk to Jack, who's 29. Jack?
Hello.
What's up?
Well, actually, I have a problem with my daughter.
All right.
She's kind of hooked on your show.
Good times.
I don't really...
bad times.
She's only 12, and I don't...
Oh, she's 12.
And I don't support this show. I don't support the freaks that if people have a serious problem, they should seek professional help.
That's usually what we tell them. That's what we tell them.
I've always wanted to ask Adam Carolla here on the air ask him if he was related to Gilbert Godfrey of any type.
No.
I don't understand the whole show. I don't understand how you can control a man's show. And I just don't understand the whole purpose behind this supporting the freak. I just needed to get that off my chest, and I appreciate you after you dump it on me.
You pansy! Can't use the S word there, Jack.
You said something to him or something. He said you dumped some S on him or something. He must have called before or something.
No. Wait,
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't say anything to him. No, I think he thinks he's gonna. I think. Hold on a second.
You put this on lock, so there you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Jack, he hung up.
I think Anderson got rid of. You hang up on him? No.
All right. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. All right, you there? No, I think he hung up. I think what he was saying is he wanted to say that before we retaliated in some way.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
All right.
He shouldn't let a 12-year-old listen to this show, for one thing, if that's true. He should do his job as parent.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's a fine parent. I can hear it in his voice.
Well,
he's a hell of a dad.
Well, he had her.
Where's my bourbon?
He had her when he was 16. Now, be fair to him.
All right, there, Jack.
But if the show can be used, though, I've heard of parents listening to with 12-year-olds as a source for discussion about stuff, about people who are in trouble, what he calls the freaks, which are really this country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth understanding how people behave. What's going on today?
Yeah. And please understand, everyone listening, I just don't care anymore. I don't care about your opinions. I don't care about any of you. I just don't. I realized that when I went and visited my grandmother yesterday, and she said, Ruth, one of her friends, So I go visit my grandma, we talk about her friends,
Yeah, of course.
Jules Mandel's going to be in Man of La Mancha at the Conejo Junior College. That's great, Grandma. That's fantastic. So she said, Ruth said you were in Time Magazine this week. This week's Time Magazine. I said, I hadn't heard that. She said she read your name. There was something about you in there. Then she took a beat and she said, "It was unflattering." And now the beauty of my grandma is she'll leave it at that. There's no like, maybe they were talking about someone else or don't take it too hard. It was unflattering. Ruth said it was unflattering. So I just sat there and I thought, I don't know what that is. I've not seen Time Magazine. And then I thought, maybe I should look at Time Magazine. And then I thought, nah, don't care. Maybe I'm in there, maybe I'm not. I'm sure it's unflattering. And I don't care. All right?
You know, we should.
That's what I thought.
We had an interesting week last week. We should recap some of those guests. We didn't have a chance to talk about that.
All right.
You know?
No, I don't want to do that.
All right.
But I do want to say that Sarah Silverman is coming up here on Tuesday night. She's from Greg the Bunny, and she also does a few voices in our new show, Crank Yankers.
George Lopez.
George Lopez, who does the George Lopez show, and who also I did that movie with, which should come out pretty soon. We just had a part, like Detective 1 and 2, so talk to him, see what he knows about that. Paul Tracy, the race car driver, is going to be in here, and the Grand Prix is coming up in Long Beach, and I'm going again.
But not driving again?
No, not going to be driving. Not going to be driving the celebrity race. And Tony Hawk will be in here, Jeremy Piven, who's been in... Actually, Jeremy Piven, I got on the internet and checked this out. Do you know that there's been almost 700,000 American movies made in the last 65 years, and that Jeremy Piven has been in 735 movies? He's actually been in more movies
that have been made in this country.
Been produced.
Wow.
That's right.
I
So
thought it'd be like
if he died
650,
tomorrow,
660.
he'd still be in the next 35 movies or so.
35,000 movies.
Yeah, absolutely. So that you didn't know, and Donna D'Erico and Nikki Sixx will be in here a little bit later, too. All right, so let's take ourselves a break, and we'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Is this Jimmy Eat World? Yeah, saw them on Saturday Night Live last night.
Nice.
Yeah, they were good. They're a good band.
Good guys.
Yeah. How long ago were they in here?
8 months?
Ugh.
6.
What was that,
6
months? All right. Loveline. Yeah. Here we go. Jeff?
Yeah.
Well, wait a second, Jeff. Hold on a second.
What?
Weren't you going to finish the story about your grandmother?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
All right.
I've had enough.
All right.
Jeff?
Yeah.
22.
Sure am.
What's up?
I'm living in Dallas. My girlfriend's going to school up in Minnesota. About a month ago, I met a girl at a pretty nice uptown bar here off a pretty popular strip here in Dallas. Pretty nice girl, real good job, everything. I was with her once, and then 2 weeks later I was with her again, which was about 3 weeks ago. And about 2 weeks after I was with her, I just had a couple little things on my lower area. I'm thinking it's possibly an STD, but
And did you have it check out?
I actually called one of the like a Planned Parenthood type thing here. They told me it's going to cost like $170 or something.
For what?
Just for the checkup, just to get it looked at.
Well, that wasn't Planned Parenthood, right?
Yeah, it sure was, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
$170 for them to take a look at your junk?
Exactly.
Planned Parenthood?
They ought to be paying you.
Jeez.
Well,
But
wait a minute. There's
It's free services through Planned Parenthood, or at least, as able to pay kind of thing.
170 just to throw you up on the rack, huh?
Yeah, and I don't know. Kind of nervous about it because
Well, what's it look like?
it's all it is like right now is it's two like pimple looking things like on the, I guess you could say, the underside, but right underneath I guess you could say the head, right underneath.
Do they hurt or burn?
They don't hurt or burn, but they're red. It's kind of reddish around them. It's not. They're not real. They're not big, but they look like white heads, kind of.
All right, maybe they just are something like that. But you want to be sure it's not syphilis. Frankly, that's
Does that show up on your junk?
Yeah, anything that's ulcerated, any sores that don't hurt is sort of syphilis still proven otherwise. But the other thing he's got to realize, Jeff, is that if you don't go in when you're having the clinical symptoms, it's much more difficult to arrive at a diagnosis. So you've got these things, you can see them, get them into the shop right now so we can take a look at them. And $175 is awfully steep. It seems like you could even go to an emergency room for that right now. For an urgent care center, probably less than that.
Yeah. One thing I realized, I really enjoy this job. I like it. As miserable as I sound most times, I really like it. But
where are we going with this?
Well, I was just
Where'd this come from? Poor Jeff, and now, Adam again. Okay.
I was just thinking, as he described his lesions on the underside of the head of his penis, I was thinking, one downside of this job is I have to picture a lot of penis.
It's tough for you, isn't it?
You have to picture it.
It's hard for you.
And they go, yeah, one of my balls, I got like 3 balls. Well, when you're like looking down on your balls and it's like be on your left side.
It must be extra
those
painful.
hairs you get on your balls. All of a sudden I'm staring at some strange guy's balls in my mind's eye.
It must be extra painful for you because that's the thing that holds you back from being homosexual, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole penis and balls part.
Yeah.
I just think I don't picture a lot of penis. I look at pictures that involve penises, but I don't physically, or I should say mentally, conjure up penis. And there's a lot of penis conjuring on this show. Someone should have told me that when I got this gig. It's going to be a lot. It's going to hours, 10 to midnight, and a lot of penis conjuring going on during that time period. Michael?
Yeah.
You're 25?
Yeah.
Let me conjure up your penis.
See, that's what I'm saying. You probably think it's some sort of witchcraft. You can conjure them up.
I pretty much don't think about that. So.
What's
All
up?
Right.
What's going on?
Big penis.
I was diagnosed in 2nd grade with Tourette syndrome, and it pretty much started off with facial tics, blink of the eyes, twitching of the cheeks, and so forth. And through seasons, the tics change. I'll have maybe a tick for maybe 6 or 7 months, and then I'll get something else. And I've been on a couple medications. I was on Haldol for actually 10 years. And
wow.
When I found out the side effects of Haldol, I was really concerned.
Who put you on that?
When I was with my pediatrician, my dad took me to him, and they gave me Haldol because they really didn't know.
So you never saw a specialist?
Well, he was a neurologist, but they said at that time they really didn't have much studied on Tourette syndrome, so they just gave they gave me Haldol, and it worked great. But when they took me off, the withdrawals were nuts. It was crazy.
But Tourette's, unlike the comical Tourette's that we know from cartoons and television, it's a lot of ticking and stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's a syndrome of obsessive compulsive disorders.
Yeah, I mean, you can have verbal tics, swearing and stuff like that. And I get that every so often. Right now, my tic is at the time it's like nasal passage, like I'm sneezing or coughing or something like that.
Clicking.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Clicking at the back of the throat.
And it's annoying,
Yeah, it's like you're calling a horse.
You sound pretty good right now, though.
Yeah, well, usually, if I'm talking to somebody, or it's just it's kind of like absolute. But I bet you once I get off the phone, the tics will start up again.
Are you on meds? Are you on meds right now?
No, I was on the last medication I was on about a year ago was Orap, and that actually worked kind of good, but it really didn't sedate it as much as I would like it to. Like the Haldol did. And actually it worked within a day, and usually Haldol takes about 2 weeks to get into your system.
Okay, so what's your question?
My question is there a shot? I know that there's for other disorders and stuff, you can get a shot that will last about a month. I don't know, say for a flu shot, but I was wondering, is there a shot available that you can get that'll actually, so I wouldn't have to take a pill orally every single day? I've gone to clinics, and really I have to go to a neurologist to find this out, and it's a lot of money. Even just
why is a pill versus a shot something you're focused on?
Just because if I forget, and I don't really take pills every day, and if I forget, a couple days later it'll start showing up, and it'll tweak out the whole cycle of actually taking the medication.
All right. The easy answer is no. There is a long-acting Haldol decanoate, but that's big doses over, much more than you should be using usually. And secondly, Prolixin, which is another extremely powerful neuroleptic that, again, neither of those medications, in my estimation, should be given to somebody with mild Tourette's. Yeah. And the other stuff that's available now are pills, and there's a lot of good stuff out there right now.
Anna?
Yeah.
You're 19?
Uh-huh.
You like to be choked?
Sometimes, yeah.
And You found a 40-year-old guy who'll do it for you?
Uh-huh.
And you're 19?
Yeah.
Well, like, choke you while you're having
Oh,
sex?
we're having sex, yeah.
You better marry the guy, right?
Now, I'll break wind oftentimes.
When you're being choked?
No, when I'm having sex, but it'll create a choking effect. Would that be the same thing?
No.
No. And Drew, you smelt my asparagus urine before.
Also will choke.
So is gagging good?
Very effective.
Jeez, we could make a team there, Anna. Yeah, so you found a 40-year-old guy who would choke you when he's having sex with you.
Yeah, he's not like a loser or anything.
Well, I'm sure he's not. Choking 19-year-olds. He must be a great guy.
We'll be back to figure out whether he is or isn't a loser. All right there, Anna? So hang on.
Okay.
All right, we'll get back with Anna and her choking problems after this. Yeah, that's right. It's Loveline. Sunday night. Show should just be starting now.
It's only a scary night.
It's an hour different.
When
right?
I can't, I have to talk to you on the air and off the air.
Yeah.
You're insisting on my full attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I need a lot of Drew.
Yeah.
Drew.
You could have called me over the weekend.
Bob. I would have called you, but then I would have had to tell you that David Allen Greer called and wanted you to go out to his gig, and, I can't pass that along.
Right.
I gave Drew a little shot of the asparagus urine in the bathroom.
Let's get on the line, because I want to share with her.
All right. Anna?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're 19. You like being choked?
Uh-huh.
Adam could deliver.
I could deliver using my penis. It's not only as a physical tool, but an olfactory tool, right?
I'd like that.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. No.
What happened to you, baby? That you like to be choked?
Okay, well, my mother was very, very abusive when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
Physically abusive.
Physically and verbally abusive.
Yeah.
She was just pretty much a bad mom. She partied a lot and she drank a lot and she did a lot of drugs when I was little. She's straightened up her act now, but and my dad was never there. My dad was in jail pretty much my whole life.
Okay, there we go. That about sets it up for this.
All right. Well,
so now it's unavailable abusive guys, and there we go.
One more thing.
Oh, there's more. Are you an addict?
No, but I could be if given the opportunity. I became really obsessed with alcohol for like 6 months. I was getting drunk every weekend, passing out, doing like absurd things. But I've stopped that since I've started dating this guy.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a waitress.
Huh. You do okay as a waitress, right?
Uh-huh.
What kind of place do you work at?
I work at sort of like a steakhouse place.
Oh, and like you get cash, right?
Yeah, cash every night, like $50 every night.
Huh.
So not bad.
Huh.
The other thing is, I haven't had a period since the 28th of January.
Wow.
And
no medicine?
No, I went to the gynecologist in March, and she said that everything was fine. I just still haven't had a period.
Is your weight way down?
No.
Are you exercising excessively?
No.
What about carrying all those trays with the T-bones and the ribeye?
Nothing unusual, no vitamins or anything funny like that.
How do you get $50 tips off of working at a steakhouse all night? What do you guys charge, like $5-6 a steak?
No, it's like really, well, actually, I only work
$5-6 Oh, you mean only $50?
I only work like 3 hours a night. Because I go to beauty college during the day.
Okay.
So
I'm just saying, as a waitress, you go on a steak dinner, you're two people, they'll drop $80-100,
Yeah.
Not where I live. I live in really...
I'm saying you work in a cheap steakhouse.
Well, it's like...
You're tending the salad bar at Sizzler, right?
No.
No?
No, it's not that. It's a really small place. It's like family owned.
Yeah.
And I only work like 3 hours a night. So.
Yeah. Me and Sizzler parted ways when they pulled the Malibu chicken off the menu, Drew. You remember that?
Was there here.
Yeah. All right, there. So what's Anna need to do? I don't trust this guy. What's this 40-year-old guy do?
He's a firefighter paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, so he's probably, if he kills you when he's choking you, he can revive you.
Good combo.
Yeah.
Is he an alcoholic?
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't drink.
All right.
Any drugs?
No.
Do you love him?
I think so.
Does he treat you right? I mean, does he want to choke you, or
Is he obliging you, or is this something he's
talked into
Sort of, he's obliging me. Just
All right.
Why don't you appeal to his paramedic sensibilities? And I'm sure if he thinks for 1 second, he realizes he can cut the blood supply out of your brain and cause a stroke. Let's cut it out. And listen, one of the things that's being shown that can happen is that people that have crazy, chaotic, sort of misattuned relationships with their parents can repair. I mean, their actually brain will repair in a stable relationship with someone who is well attached and attuned, but it takes like 3 to 5 years. So you've got to really, make sure this is the right guy, and if it is, stay with him for a while. 40, though, 19, suspect.
All right, let's talk to Mike, who's 17. Mike?
What's up, Adam?
What's up?
Dr. Drew?
Hey, good to hear you. Mike,
first of all, the Man Show's great. Adam and Dr. Drew, your appearances on it are good, too, so...
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, where are you guys going to get me in this year?
I'm working on it.
All right, thanks.
Go ahead there, buddy.
My question?
Yeah.
I've been, kind of not pursuing girls that much lately because I've just been busy with a lot of different things, like partying and work and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's this girl I like, and I want to get her number, and I'm going to get it tomorrow. And when I call her, I'm wondering if I should have a long conversation with her, or should I just set something up?
What's your relationship like with her?
What?
What's your relationship with her?
I don't have it. Well, we're friends right now.
What kind of friends?
Where'd you get her phone number?
No, I'm going to get it tomorrow.
How?
By asking her.
Oh, you're a pretty confident guy.
But what kind of friends are you? I mean, you're part of a group of friends, or you work together, or what's
her
the deal?
brothers, we used to hang out. I used to hang out with her brother.
So you've known her for a long time?
Yeah, a few years, yeah.
Do you understand what I'm asking? I'm trying to figure out what the nature of your relationship is like with her. Is it just sort of casual hangout? You've just known each other for a few weeks?
Hung out. I just she smiles at me in the hall, and
she's your a friend's sister.
Yeah,
they're not friends at all.
Yeah, you don't even know her.
So what's she going to say? Maybe she won't give you her phone number.
I know. I know she wants me.
How old? Oh, jeez. How old is she?
Hold on. Mike has a sort of retarded confidence to him that is unappealing.
But people have to remember, this is a 17-year-old. I've been busy working and partying a little bit. Yeah, I can shine my car up, and I'm going to ask this girl for a number tomorrow. Wow, 17.
Listen, when you're in the 11th grade, are you ever too busy to get laid? I mean, and it's not like he's been cracking the books either. He's been partying.
And working.
Yeah.
17.
And we're friends, but as it turns out, we don't really know each other. But don't worry about it.
At me.
Oh, wait. And he's calling us for advice, even though it's a done deal.
Yeah, he's not taking any advice.
Yeah, I mean, she's putting his hands. Hey, Mike?
Yeah.
What's up? You seem like a very confident man. Is she just a complete mess?
No, she's I think 2 grades down from me.
Ooh. She's 15.
15.
And she's your buddy's little sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you ought to ask him maybe first.
How good a buddy is this guy?
Yeah.
No, we used to hang out, but he went to the Army, and...
I see.
How dare he?
He graduated, so...
All right.
And you're not in school?
I'm in school right now, yeah.
What kind of work were you doing?
Well, I got a job at the mall.
Hot dog on a stick? Okay.
No, at a video store.
Oh, no, guys. You tried that, right?
I tried to get a job at Hot Dog on a Stick, and they wouldn't hire me.
Yeah.
Because they're paying $6.50 an hour, and those were $1984.
Yeah.
And that was
pretty good.
Pretty good money back then. But they hire chicks, they make you wear those stewardess outfits from 1965.
Mike slipped in what he is doing, video store.
Oh, video store. That's why I can't stand him. They only hire annoying and condescending people. Actually, Anderson, do you ever work at a video store? Yeah. That seemed about right.
Oh, my God.
Just playing a hunch.
I talked about it before.
All right.
So,
we talked about it.
What is the better idea? Talk to her on the phone, then
just
figure out,
make it quick.
Make it quick. Yeah, I agree. Get the relationship going face to face.
Get the number and ask her out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about women.
You can only do harm talking on the phone. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. It is if you have a handshake on a deal
Right.
and you just hang out.
Or it's like you're in front of the judge and you want to keep talking.
Right.
He's made his decision, but you want to talk some more.
Right. And you should call her out. Also, here's the problem, too. I think if a guy calls, Producer Ann, you tell me what you think about this. If a guy calls you and you're caught a little bit off guard, if he makes small talk for 15 minutes, you can start formulating an excuse. Like you'll go, wait a minute, I know why this dude called. This dude's going to ask me out. Meanwhile, he's talking about his homeroom teacher and stuff. And meanwhile, you're going through your minds and you're going, now what am I going to tell him when he asks me out? If you call and just ask him out, you can catch him off guard sometimes. At least get a date out of it.
And you get a straight answer too. If there's really no interest, it's a no. You'll get a no. You'll get a I don't like that. I can't, not that night.
Yes.
And don't keep pushing if you get not that night. Maybe one more swing.
Right.
If in genuine reality they really can't make it that night.
Right.
Give them that option.
But here's the question too, and I don't know how this works. And Ann, you tell me. Somebody calls, let's say you're back in high school. Guy calls, and he asks you out almost immediately. And you haven't even been able to process it, and you haven't been able to come up with a good excuse, and you got nothing going on Friday night when he asked you out to the ball, to go to the football game or whatever's going on. So you might just say yes just because you have nothing worked out. But then, would you cop out on it and not go on the date, or would you go, I said yes, I'm going anyway?
I can see it on Tara's face. She would just not show up.
Tara
I
would not
come
show
up with an excuse later on before the date.
But you wouldn't have a feeling like of obligation. Well, I told him I would go, so I'm going to go.
No.
No.
Tara? She just wouldn't show up.
Biatch.
She wouldn't show up?
What?
I would show up.
You would show up?
I would show up.
You wouldn't make a later excuse?
No.
Oh.
All right.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Drew, what would you do? Would you show up?
Oh, yeah. I'm codependent. We're talking about.
Yeah. You do it even now. Wouldn't you?
No.
All right.
This happened to me in 7th grade. A girl asked me out, and she called me like 6:30 in the morning and asked me out.
Ooh.
And I had no idea where I was or what was going on, and I just said yes, and then I just never talked to her again.
So you never showed up?
No,
You
I mean,
never
I had to
went
show
on
up
the
to
date?
school, but I just never talked to her. It was very uncomfortable. It was 7th grade.
Guys are not equipped to say no. We have no sort of experience with this. We don't not expecting to do. You know what I mean? The only way that's going to happen is if women ask guys out more, and they'll get used to it. They'll figure out how to do it too.
Right, and we think it would be devastating to a woman to say no.
Well, we know what it feels like to be said no to, for one thing.
Yes, but as a guy, we expect to hear no a certain amount of times in a lifetime,
right?
Maybe into the millions. But women, I mean, there's been a time or two when you knew a woman was interested in you, and you weren't interested in her, and you felt like it would just screw her life up. Did you not?
You just felt really bad, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not an emotional thing; it's a physical thing.
Yeah.
You once in a while, even there's a woman who wants sex off of you, and you don't want sex off of her. And I think that's like the biggest insult you could pay a woman. I mean, as a woman, is that fairly devastating? I mean, you're especially whatever age you are, but there's some guy, and the guy's single, and the guy's definitely straight, and you've heard stories about how he's made the rounds a time or two with some of your friends or some other people in college or the high school you go to or whatever, and he wants nothing to do with you. That's I would imagine that to be fairly devastating from a female point of view. And so, hey, I got drunk and did this chick in San Diego once just because of that. Mm-hmm.
No way, you spent the weekend with her.
I know. I did.
You pansy.
I know, but I was trying to get out of there.
Oh, but think about when you did.
Think about when I did get out of there?
She'd set up the whole weekend and brought her friends around, and this was going to be... Oh, you're in such denial about this. You don't even remember all the details. Yes, bring it back. Remember? Oh, yes.
I was... I was in the height of my depression.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And you know how it is, we always talk about this, that when there's that stink of rejection and failure on you, you couldn't even get a nibble. Women you normally wouldn't be interested in are all of a sudden not interested in you because you have that stink of rejection on you. Like when I was at some of those like crappy singles bar, and I sat down next to this chick. She was a good solid 3.5, maybe 4, like on a good day. And my whole plan is, look, you got to start somewhere. Let's just try to build it back up. You know, you're drunk, have a nice night. I walked up to the table. I said, "Mind if I sit down?" She looked up and she said, "Why?" I said, how does this work that everyone knows what kind of shape you're in emotionally? I mean, I wasn't even bad. I was a hell of a lot better looking than I am now. I was in good shape. I wasn't bad looking. She didn't know I drove a beat-up truck. All right, anyway.
Anyway, so you went down there for that weekend.
I met this chick at Barney's Beanery with a mutual friend, and she was kind of pretty, and we got to talking, and I was just depressed and desperate, and somehow I got hold of her phone number, and I called her up, and she lived in San Diego, and we got to talk, and we were talking for like a couple of months. Oof. And she apparently was just must have just been eating like, you know when they do that goose liver, how they stuff the food in the goose's mouth?
With the funnel?
They put a funnel in the goose's mouth. They keep ramming bread into it until its liver explodes so they can make pate out of it. She must have been eating like that since I saw her last. Because it had only been a couple of months.
Oh, no.
And she seemed to have put on like a good 40, 50 pounds, you know. And here's how, you know, I was like 24. But I still didn't have wheels that were good enough to get me from L.A. to San Diego, so I borrowed my friend's pickup truck, which was still a pile of ass, but newer. And I drove it out there, and I got there on a Friday night, and that door opened, and it was like, I thought it was like, looked like Eddie Murphy in a fat suit. You know, it was like a character. I mean, not that jumbo big, but just I just remember looking, going, 2 hours. 2 hours I drove out here. So we went out that night.
That's sad, actually.
I know, it's very sad. Went out that night. Sad for everybody. Went out that night, and we went drinking. And I got loaded, and I called my ex-girlfriend drunk from, like, the bar who I'd been
pining over
for, like, the
sorority
last
girl at SC?
year and a half or something.
We got to bring, you know what? We have to get her and bring her on the show.
I had her killed 4 years ago.
All right.
Oh,
of course.
I wasn't supposed to say anything.
Of course.
Anyway, I don't know, where she wasn't home, she didn't want to talk to me, whatever. Went back and crashed out that night. Didn't do anything, just drank too much and passed out. The next morning, I was getting ready to hit the road. Now, I was supposed to spend the whole weekend there.
And she had her friends lined up.
Her friend pulled me aside and said, she doesn't remember what her name was. Stacy took the day off work so she could be with you. And I was like, all right, where's the booze? Where's the booze? And I was like, all right, drop the bag, go back in. Started drinking. I think I had sex with her that night.
You drank all day?
I ate breakfast and then started getting loaded. And we got it on that night, but it must have just been a disaster. It was so bad. Oh, and then I slunk out of there the following morning.
I'm ashamed for you.
What are you going to do? I wasn't attracted to her. What was I supposed to do then?
Oh, my God.
What was I supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
Here's the thing. I didn't want to answer that question.
You didn't even hear the rest of the story.
Oh, no.
Drew just wrote on a Marks a Lot blowjob. Come on, Drew. That's not true.
What happened?
No, that's not an answer is what I'm saying. So I slid out of there. I slid out of there on a Sunday and was like, all right, see you soon, you know, and got back to the house and thought, oh, boy, that's that. And there was a knock on the door like 3 days later.
Oh, my God.
Her and her friend were in town.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Was she
stay over at the house?
She must have been impressed with the spacious surroundings and all the guys flopping around all over the place. Though we had 12 roommates at that point.
I had a house in North Hollywood with one bathroom that was broken, and it was all bad. It was all bad.
But here's the thing.
And at the end of the night, you know, what was the worst part? At the end of the night, I said good night, and I went into my room, and I was sleeping on this like upper loft thing because my room was so small. I had the mattress on the ceiling practically, and I used to just sleep on these. Yeah, I used to do that in all my rooms because there wasn't enough room for the bed and for the room, you know. And Ray was yelling, "Go in there! Go in Adam's room! Go sleep with him!" And I like set her and her friend up on the sofa. I'm just saying, turning a woman down sexually as a guy is a horribly painful thing to do.
I just think in general, isn't it remarkable what men and women in their 20s do to each other?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your 20s, people just do awful stuff to each other.
Well, I don't know what I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't attracted
That's
to
the
her.
point. It's hard to. You don't have the skills to be honest. You know the skills to not know that you're getting yourself into a big mess. How to get yourself out.
No, and you're too stupid. Like now, I'd tell someone to call me on my cell phone. I'd be like, "Hello, who? Oh my God, that's tragic. No, but stay there. I'll be there. I'll be there now. Don't move." And I just hang up and run out the door. Back then, I was like, I got some stuff to do. All right. Drew, come on. Why'd you have to conjure this up?
Conjuring. We're busy conjuring tonight.
I'm going to vomit now. We got to take a break.
So are all our listeners, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry, everybody. We'll get back with your questions after this. Hey, everybody. Loveline. I'm Adam. That is Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew, board-certified physician of his family. George Lopez in here. He's got a new sitcom, and I guess it's doing all right.
George Lopez Show?
The George Lopez Show.
He does a bunch of film, too.
He does a lot of film, and he does, I think does a morning show as well out here in Los Angeles.
And stand-up.
I don't know. And stand-up. Oh.
Busy guy.
These guys. What's Mexican for oi? Oh, it's oi, isn't it?
Sorry.
Aye.
There.
Oh, yeah. Aye. It's true. Oi and I are about the same thing in Spanish and Yiddish, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at Cedars for a while back in the mid-'80s. We used to have the oy vey arrhythmias.
Yeah.
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey, 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 vey.
Yeah.
Vey tag.
Aye. Cedars is a very Jewish hospital, is it not?
Oh.
Cedar Sinai, is it like Mount Sinai? Okay. Patty?
Yes.
It's, you're 21. What's up?
Okay, my boyfriend and I have been together for a year and a half, and we're gonna have a baby pretty soon. And I'm the one actually who's thought of having a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, hang on a second. You're pregnant?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do it now. I mean, I wouldn't do it now.
Aye.
You want to do it once the child is here?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe a little later. You know what I mean?
Once the child is dead and gone?
No, maybe like next year or so.
When the child is here, about a year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the kid's old enough to be able to process things and make his own decisions.
Right. You can give him a car, let him drive out.
Tell him to go out and get mommy a pack of butts. Meanwhile, you have a nice threesome.
And what's the relationship like with Dad?
Oh, we are very, very, very close.
You and the father of the child?
Yeah.
Are you getting married?
Actually, we think that what we want to do is first, go
I love
to
this.
school.
We want to do this.
You want to finish junior college?
Yeah, well, no. Actually, he wants either one of us to, get our career.
What do you want to do?
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, we communicate about everything.
You don't want to get married?
No, I don't. Not yet.
All right. You in junior college?
Child is an easy thing. Marriage, that's a commitment.
You in junior college now, Patty?
I was going to school. I'm not going to school right now.
Junior college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you own a ranch in Ojai?
No.
It should not have the word college in junior college, and it shouldn't even be called school.
What should they call it?
Prison.
Prison?
With an open gate policy. It's basically prison with a snack shack and a small auditorium. They're not, and most of the people that go there have some sort of criminal record.
Can we call it just halfway house or something?
Yeah, that's what it'd be, like a halfway house.
Detention center. There you go. Detention center.
Patty?
Yes.
Gulag, I think is what I'd like to call junior college. So, you're pregnant already, are you?
Yeah.
All right.
And what do you think the threesome's going to accomplish for you guys?
Well, I don't know. I'm just a little curious about women. That's all.
So you think you may be gay?
No, I don't think I may be gay. There's a certain part of the woman that I like.
What part?
The breast.
Ooh.
I don't like anything else but that.
Yeah, now we're talking. Well, you got them breasts. Why don't you feel your own?
Well, because it's my own. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's something that well, since I was about 16 or so.
Well, unfortunately, that's all fine, but unfortunately, that kind of bringing that kind of element into a relationship will really destabilize it and maybe destroy it.
Yeah, see that's the part that I'm
right. Now, if you were a usual 20-year-old and just had a relationship that you could sacrifice, that's one thing. But this is now the father of your child. You have a child. You are now mom, and you kind of relinquish a few things once you've stepped up to that plate.
What's the father do?
What do you mean?
School.
He goes to school now?
No, he doesn't. He's working.
Where's he working?
I don't want to say.
Right.
He does construction.
Yeah. Drywall?
No, he does more like remodeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a horrible gig.
Here in San Francisco.
It's not. Actually, it's fun.
Give that kid away.
Well, that's an option.
Can you give him away?
If you give the child up for adoption, now you've regained you give the child somebody who's ready to be parents, then you can start to be a 21-year-old again.
Could you put him up for adoption?
No, we don't want to do that.
Listen,
Okay, fine. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
All right, good. Don't have the threesome, though. It'll screw up the relationship.
You know, I mean, the one thing that we talk about a lot of things, and we've talked about this before, and what we've thought is, you know, if we ever do something like this, it would be with someone we don't know.
All right.
Yeah, Patty?
You know.
Patty, well, if you do you have a... Well, you must have a history. Listen, is your family fell apart when you were young or something?
You guys always say that.
Well, you're hell-bent on recreating that. You're hell-bent on it.
Yeah, where's your dad?
My dad is not around.
Oh, shocking. Why? Where is he?
I have no idea.
There you go.
But the last time I saw him was when I was 12, and I don't want to see him.
Well, do you want your daughter to be in
You don't want to see him?
No.
Why not?
Well, because there's a bad...
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So you got to do something like that for your kid. You can't just let the kid have an even break. You got to start screwing around. The kid's 6 months old, and you're pulling a threesome off.
See, that's why I want to get an opinion from someone.
All right,
we're giving you the opinion.
No.
We're giving you the opinion.
No.
Okay, so you think I shouldn't do it?
That's right.
Not unless
or
you
give
want
the kid up for adoption.
Yeah,
And do whatever you want for the next 10
Right. I mean,
years.
there are people that are ready, lots of people ready to be parents. You may not be one of those people.
She's going to do it. Screw the kids up. Let me tell you something about stupid people. Stupid people have to F up. They have to F up. It's part of being stupid. They just have to do the same F-ups over and over and again, and they have to F up the same way their family did. And it's just it's you know, you like to call it, you give it a lot of psychological stuff. It's stupid. It's just, and you say, oh, it's not fair to call it stupid. They lack insight. It's the essence of stupid.
It's lacking insight.
Well, look, I don't do well on tests. That doesn't make me stupid. Do you know what I'm saying? What is stupid if not just to sort of make the same mistakes and screw your life up and screw your kid's life up? Then you tell me what the definition of stupid. A Scantron test that you don't do well on? That's stupid?
I don't know.
No, this is the essence of stupidity. And maybe the world just needs this. Her parents were a mess. Her dad was a jackass. She doesn't want to see him, so she hooks up with some construction guy, gets pregnant, pulls a threesome. He freaks out, and he's out of the way.
She'll freak out.
Now she's got a kid, and they can continue the thing going. Is that what we need?
Yeah.
All right. Dropped out of junior college.
Well, that's actually, I'm trying to figure out what are the evolutionary pressures, that create that in humans.
Well, Drew, here's what I'm thinking about. I know these idiots. They get real sanctimonious about their kids and how they love their kids, and they don't believe in this adoption, this and that. I'm completely convinced if I offered one of these idiots $2,800, I could get their kid from them easily. That's like a down payment on a Nissan Sentra for one of these boneheads who we talk to. I swear to Christ, if I offered $2,500, I could get the kid out of 50% of the idiots who call this show. And if I got it up to like $8,000, that would cover 90 to 95% of the people, the ones we talk to who are having kids and we don't want them to raise the kids because they're idiots and they're going to screw the kid up and then we're going to have to sort of pay for it from a societal standpoint. $5,000 would get all these kids right out of them, right out of their parents. They've never even seen $5,000.
I mean, there are people that would pay much more than that for adoption.
Well, that's my point. And that's where I'm come in because that's where the money's
You're going to be the middleman?
I swear to Christ, I could get you know what I start? I start 2,200. And I go up to about $5,000. Okay?
Remember that woman we had in here?
I get the kid and then I just broker it for like $50,000.
That woman that I had in here who was dealing with cocaine addicted women in Orange County and she was paying them. How did that work, that system she had?
She was paying them to get on birth control. To get on Norplant.
That's what it was. Right.
But let's just take it a step further. Is there how ethically wrong is that?
To pay them to give up their children to give them to somebody more worthy?
Well, look at it this way. This makes all the sense in the world, which is if you find someone who would take $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 to give away their kid, they'd be a horrible parent. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
It's catch-22. The ones that don't take the money, I don't mind raising their kid. And the ones who give the kid away and take the $8,000, you wouldn't want that kind of scumbags raising kids, would you?
Good point.
They're drug addicts,
right,
for the most part. Or they're just so destitute that they would take $5,500 in lieu of having their kid.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this plan? And we take the kid away. They got their money. We give them a shot. Here's the deal. You get the Norplant in you, and you get like $5,500, and you go on your way. Some 19-year-old screwball from a effed up family. This would be a great plan. What would be wrong with this? Why?
I have to think about it.
Think
Sounds
about
good
it.
on the surface.
Well, think about it.
People would have
doesn't like
kids.
that.
They would have kids just so they could sell them to you.
All right. Well, I'm still turning a profit. But I'm giving them Norplant as they go out the door. That's what I'm saying. So the same ones can't re-enter the system. And there's a lot of people out there who want to adopt kids, right?
Right.
Not enough babies. True.
True.
Having to go abroad.
Chester, 17.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
what's happening?
Man, that commercial they played at the last break about the drunk at the basketball game, that was funny.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite PSA, yeah.
There's going to be a party at Jason's house.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
That's good times right there.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's going to go on? There's going to be drinking, and maybe someone's going to drink some beer or smoke some marijuana.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, no thanks. I'll go to bed when the street lights come on.
What's up, Chester?
Yeah, I stopped smoking weed about 2 weeks ago, and ever since that, I stopped, I don't have a sex drive no more.
Well, you can get pretty...
2 times a day, and now, nothing.
You can get pretty depressed when you come off pot.
I'm not depressed no more. I'm trying to get back in shape and everything.
So you were depressed when you were smoking, and now you don't feel as depressed.
You're trying to get back in shape? You're 17. You're trying to hit your 14-year-old form?
Right.
He was tight as a drum at 14. Now look at him. He's a mess.
I got a belly and
Jeez,
I get it off now.
Circles under your eyes, hair balding. You're really a mess. You haven't even graduated. Forget the reunion.
You say you're depressed. You're not depressed anymore?
No, I really wasn't. I was just smoking weed because all my friends did, and then I figured out it was all stupid and stuff, so I got off.
All right.
I was doing and then I didn't care what I looked like when I was smoking. I didn't comb my hair or get clean clothes.
You weren't smoking weed because your friends were smoking. You were smoking weed because you liked it a lot.
I did.
Yeah, you're a marijuana addict. That's what happens. You really like that stuff, and you let everything else go. And people don't usually stop unless they get the depression from the drug. So were you depressed?
Oh, wait a minute. Put it on hold. Were you depressed, Chester?
I don't think so.
Okay, what made you stop?
My mom called me, and we had a heart-to-heart.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? It's I didn't want to live like that anymore. And then my mom caught me and said she's going to kill me.
She ran over his bong in her Impala wagon is what happened.
And then you were court-ordered after that?
Heart to heart. I'll kick your ass. You smoking any more weed, you little freak.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. But when you hear that, you young people, it makes you not want to get into trouble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, play that, Anderson. This is a realistic depiction of a couple of high schoolers after a Friday night basketball game.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. Now play back a little more. I got to hear a little more there. I like that. Oh, Anderson.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
Didn't have it.
Oh, okay.
I just had that on a loop.
Oh, I see. All right.
But Chester, he wants to know why sex drive is down. Or he's going to play the whole thing.
No, that's the other one.
Chester, listen, people, you're going to go through a withdrawal that lasts 2 to 4 weeks. That's going to drop your sex drive. People often get depressed when they come off pot, even more so than when they're smoking it. That can drop it. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Changes physiologically. They can certainly drop your sex
But
drive.
he's moving in the right direction, right?
Yeah, his denial is still rather profound.
All right, but
so.
and you know what? I think some kids have smartened up, and they just go like you go, "Why were you doing drugs?" And they go, "Because all of my other friends were doing it, and they were calling me uncool."
Yeah,
and in a way, it's like a good answer because every adult goes, "Yeah, see, that's how it works."
As opposed to just the case, he loved pot. Couldn't stand me without it. It was the greatest thing.
But for all you guys who get busted, it's just a good idea just to sort of parrot what you heard on Dragnet. I don't even know if anyone knows what that is. But the point is what adult is going to argue with that?
Me.
I was trying to be cool. It was peer pressure. My friends did it, especially parents, because they always blame everything on everyone else.
Right. That's such a load of crap, though.
Oh, wait, let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear that PSA, by the way.
Hey, what are you doing after the game? Well, there's a big party at Jason's. His parents are out of town, and there's going to be plenty to drink.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
You're going to pass up a party?
Well, it sounds more like trouble than a party.
Yeah.
More like trouble than a party.
Underage drinking.
Who would call that a party?
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what a party is. Parents in town, no booze. That's a party. Parents out of town, plenty of libations, trouble. See, what you want is folks in town, maybe even grandparents staying over, too, daylight hours, and plenty of non-alcoholic beverages, such as High C, Kool-Aid. Not Mountain Dew. That's got a little extra caffeine in there. Yeah, no, that sounds like trouble.
It's dumb, dangerous, and illegal.
You're going to miss all the fun.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
A public service message.
Now, were they going to take these public service announcements and pipe them back into the 1950s, or were they actually planning on playing those in 2002? Who made this? Like a bunch of guys who, like Art Linkletter, got together with Grandpa Moses, and they decided to put together a PSA. I'll tell you what sounds like trouble to me. It's the guys who are in their early 40s who are trying to sound like teenagers. That's the part. Hey, what you doing over? That sounds like trouble. And are they in the game or are they hanging out at the game? I'm not sure. Because it sounded like they're
playing.
They were courtside.
Yeah. Maybe they were actually playing the game, I think.
Maybe they were on the bench. They did sound white.
Wasn't it a little one-on-one?
No, I get the feeling that was a high school game, and after the game they're going.
All right.
They're going to the party.
Okay.
And by the way, like I've said a million times, how many tenths of a second would it take before I pulled the pussy card on the sounds like trouble?
Just what is it that you want to do?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
We want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. And we want to get loaded. And we want to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do.
Well, wait, baby, let's go.
We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party.
I'm going to stay out of trouble.
I'm going to go home and beat off. Because I got my stepmom a pair of her size 45 underpants out of the hamper, and I put it between my mattress and box spring, and I'm going to sniff that while I beat off.
All right.
And
here we
then
go.
I'm going to get on the internet because I got a Dungeons and Dragons game going with the guys in the Soviet Union. He's 14. He don't want to get into trouble. Okay, let's take a break.
Yes.
We'll be back. Hey, yo, it's Adam and Drew, and it's Loveline. And we're going to get back to the phones now. Poor Jose has been on hold for 95 minutes. So we're going to talk to him. Jose?
Thank you guys. Yeah,
that's
all right. You're very kind to take my call.
Sorry you were on hold for so long.
That's cool, man. It's very entertaining listening to you guys. It's quite fun to listen to.
Thank you.
People are more effed up than I am. Anyways, I had a whole line of questions for you guys, but unfortunately, I don't think I have enough time to ask them. But
well, we're going to be a little more. We're willing to roll with you a little bit because you waited so long.
Yeah. Well, okay. Adam, you're probably the same thing as me. You know, like you have this little thing where you have to picture all these guys' penises for like how many have you think you've tuned? How many like to the tune of? How many have you pictured?
To the tune.
I've pictured to the tune of about 8,500 penises.
It's gonna take years of therapy to fix, buddy.
Yeah. Did you have a real question there, Jose?
Yeah, I do. I had this ex of mine, and I dated her for like over 2 years ago, and for 8 months, and I had this new girlfriend.
Hold on a second. So when you were 14,
yeah, I dated this girl for 8 months, and which I was really into, and
so it ended 2 years ago. So you started when you were 13.
No, actually, no. When I was 14, I actually started like in March of 2000, and it ended the same year in November. And around 2 weeks later, she dated one of my friends for like for like a year, I believe. And she walked up to my house and told me, you know, I've been dating your friend. And so now I was like totally pissed, and I was like out for blood. But you know, by that time I had a girlfriend, and I was like chill. I was like calming myself down. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Fine, I'll let it go. I'll just let bygones be bygones. But just know you drew fresh blood, and I will get you back eventually. So now I've been recently talking to her, and she dropped by my house the other day, and she left a rose. Now I'm kind of wondering, what do you guys think that means?
Means she's chaotic and somebody you want to stay away from.
Yeah. Now, doesn't this question have something to do with his pregnant girlfriend?
Yeah, she's 3.5 months. Yesterday she had like a reaction to this medicine, compazine, I believe.
Yeah, her neck kind of pulled to the side and stuff.
Excuse me?
Did her neck get all stiff? And,
yeah, exactly. Like all pulled to the left, like jaw numb, like everything was like, oh my.
Well, she should not take Tiger, and she's having a lot of vomiting in her first trimester of it.
I've seen so many times her hurling, man.
How old is your girlfriend there, Jose?
She is 15 years old.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh
yeah,
Jesus.
I'm in for it now, aren't I?
Well, no. Listen. What can you give the kid up for adoption?
Love to, Adam, but I already had this whole thing. I'd love to say plan now, but I know you guys are laughing at me from the back of your head. You're saying, what an idiot this guy is.
No, it's at the front, actually. The back, I'm thinking about cars and penis.
Shocking.
Picturing penis,
Shocking, Adam, shocking.
Well, seriously, can you give the kid away, or what do you do? Who's going to raise the kid?
Hold on, you're gonna give me $5,000, right? You're gonna start at 22.
Well, there you go.
I'd give you $5,000, yeah. If I thought I could get, $30,000 for her or him, yeah, I'd do it. The kid, yeah. No, seriously, can you give the kid away for adoption?
But this time, I'm willing to stick this one up through, and I'm already giving up certain things.
All right.
Like, I'm already dropping my guitar because that used to be my number one passion, but unfortunately,
Guitar.
Guitar. You know, you said your dad played the trumpet, and he was like such a pussy, like a pussy and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
His ass with the jammies, with the feet in the jammies and all.
Yeah. I could still with the hatch open of my jammies, I could have given my dad an ass kicking when I was wearing the jammies with the hatch in the back.
Oh boy, on the feet.
Oh, Jose.
Oh well.
You idiot!
You know, but
Jose's going to give up a few things.
Jose has insight, right? You can't call Jose.
Jose's
stupid.
not a stupid guy.
Right,
Jose.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, okay, listen. Let me just give you my plan for you, all right, Jose? Besides not getting anyone else pregnant for a long time.
Please, stay away from your old girlfriend. Stay away from that one.
You're a smart guy, but you're a young guy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And you're wise beyond your years, but you're also one of these guys who could be a smart guy, but could also just lead a really stupid life.
He's an idiot.
Don't be one of those guys.
Way ahead of you, man. I'm already thinking of a few things. Like I'm telling you, not only am I dropping the guitar, I'm unfortunately also dropping pot, which is another thing that I do.
That's fortunate. It's not unfortunate.
Yeah, but
consider some things. You know, I was sexually abused when I was 6, so you know some things.
You were sexually abused?
Yeah, sexually.
Well, one of the things that pot does is it helps you dissociate. And if you're one of these people that learn to dissociate in severely abusive situations, the pot sort of enhances that ability. And dissociating by dissociating, I mean you sort of, when you were in that horrible abuse, you kind of freeze and go to a level of sort of abandoning the situation emotionally and sort of experientially. And that's something you start to do in your relationships and in highly charged situations.
Please, Jose. 16. Hey, listen, when does the state get involved here? It's not considered abuse. You know what I mean? Like, if let's say I wanted a llama as a pet.
Mm-hmm. At 16. How about that?
Oh, Drew, will you stop crapping? No, quiet down. You're crapping on my point again. As an adult, as a tax-paying, law-abiding adult, if I wanted a llama, if I decided I wanted just to raise a llama on my property, couldn't be done.
Right.
There's rules against that.
But you're making my point. Imagine if a 16-year-old wanted to do that. They'd like put him in juvenile hall, right?
Well, no, not really. No, I don't think he'd be locked up for raising a llama at 16. As a matter of fact, I had a cousin who tried to raise a llama at 16, and he didn't do any real time. Okay, No, here's my point. My point. I can't do that. Cops would show up at my house. The state would take the llama away, and it would be endangering a llama. I don't have enough acreage for the llama or the neighbors or what have you. There's probably 10 ordinances that would not allow me to raise a llama on my property. But this 16-year-old screwball can give up the weed and the guitar and raise a kid? And by the way, where's the cutoff? What about 10? I mean, what if you're a dude? What if the first ounce of semen that comes out of your penis lands on some 12 or 13-year-old's egg? I mean, there are guys who can produce semen at 11 and a half or 12 years old. What if you're 12 and you knock up a 12-year-old? Still your kid? How's that work? You get to keep it? It's yours? You raise it? You drop out of the 6th grade and raise the kid? I mean, is there no cutoff date? Like when I'm just saying, if the government, and I know we're always talking about, oh, we don't need them stepping in. They step in all the time on everything. Everything. They're up our ass on everything. Can't get them to step in one more time here? But they're stepped in to every goddamn aspect of our life. What do you mean? Just let them step in on one more thing here. You're 16. You got the education of the llama Adam's cousin was trying to raise when he was 16. And no, you can't have this kid. You're endangering the kid. It's abuse. It's abuse to have a child raise a child. It's abuse to the child that's trying to raise the child. You can't figure out the feedings and how you going to complete high school. All right, I'm done. Well, that's it. Another fantabulous show.
Mercifully
done. All right.
Guests for the rest of the week.
George Lopez, Sarah Silverman, Paul Tracy, the race car driver, in here later on this week.
Thank God
for Dr. Drew. So, until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo. You're 16. You got the education of the llama.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for Loveline is Ann Wilkins Ingle. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.